The most anticlimactic Nexus final hit I have ever seen in my life.
Oh, baby. What a game.
What a game indeed. CLG will lock this one away 2-0. I can hardly believe it. I thought for sure they held on to it. I thought they made that final defense, but APHROMOO, the master strategist, was like, you know what? We had that minion in there. That was the whole point. Get him onto the next.
The numbers he knew all along.
It was all right there, and planned or not, CLG end that second game just shy of 38 minutes.
Yeah, CLG showing a good series for themselves. Being able to come back from a very strong early game that FlyQuest put up today. I think that they really did perform well in the early stages, but CLG very resilient, able to find fights when it mattered, and able to take down FlyQuest 2-0. And CLG has just been looking so much better in these last few weeks.
And that's huge going into playoffs, because we looked at it from HUHI's point of view. We looked at it from FlyQuest's point of view, a team that's been having a rough past few weeks, wanting to find themselves a win before the last regular week of play, before playoffs would come around. But for a team like CLG, who's had a little bit of randomness to their performances, who have had some good weeks and had some bad weeks, going into the very end of the split on a high note could be massive.
I mean, these are two teams on the complete opposite ends of the spectrum right now. FlyQuest going to be 1-8 in their last 9, whereas CLG are 7-2 in their last 9. I mean, these teams, their fortunes have completely swapped. FlyQuest were smashing at the start of the year, and now they just can't seem to buy a win. And CLG, it was the opposite.
Yeah, CLG had a rough start to the year, and that really wasn't what a lot of people were expecting, considering this was the roster that stuck together.
Yeah, everyone else swapped. You think, of course, CLG is going to do well.
Same 5 guys. Of course, they're going to have the synergy, the unity, the teamwork. Everything's going to be there, and then it wasn't. But now CLG has found their stride going into the end of this split.
They really have, and I think that a strong CLG can be a threat to any team, and it's really interesting how the league has developed. When you look at the start of the year, you think, okay, Cloud9, by far the best team. Then TSM moving up to join them. Then it's, I think, P1 even kind of moving up there, and P1 has been performing so well that people are saying, hey, maybe P1's a threat to these teams. And now CLG, I mean, you have to give respect to the fact that they're 7-2 in their last 9. That's at least 4 legitimate teams that could be a threat to any of the top teams in this league. It feels like no one is safe anymore.
And looking at that same point, saying if we're looking back at how things have evolved since the beginning of the league, remember that right up there with Cloud9 and TSM for a few weeks was FlyQuest.
Yeah, they were, and their fortunes seemed to change after that FlyQuest C9 match so many weeks ago. You know, the first one's so hyped going into that. FlyQuest loses, but it's a close series, and ever since then, it's just been downhill.
Well, for a first-hand account of things that happened today, let's go ahead and hear from Jat, who's side stage with CLG's bot laner.
Thank you very much, guys. And yes, I'm here with STIXXAY. First off, congratulations on the 2-0 victory. Another big comeback. That's been kind of a pattern for you guys this week. How do you guys stay so calm in these games, especially when facing large deficits?
I mean, honestly, I feel like we're kind of used to it at this point. It's not like too surprising to get back or to get behind. We always know how to get back in the game. So none of us really like get panicky or anything. We just focus on what we can do next.
Yeah, and even about not panicking, there was a little bit of panic for fans earlier on in the split when you guys had yet another slow start, even though you stayed with the same roster. A lot of people were expecting you guys to just kind of turn it on at some point. Do you feel like that's what happened, or was there something else at play early on in the split compared to now?
I mean, honestly, every split that we start, we always get behind early on in the split because I think we're just kind of slow to adapting to the meta. But once we do learn everything, I feel like we're one of the best teams. So it just takes time for us to get good.
Do you feel comfortable now with the meta, or is there still a lot more to learn before playoffs?
I feel like we're really comfortable with the meta right now, especially for me and Zach for bot lane meta. I feel like we're like ahead of people, so it feels pretty nice.
Yeah, I also have to ask you about being sick this week. I had heard that you weren't feeling necessarily well. I could hear it a little bit in the comms yesterday, but how are you feeling now, and how are you playing through the sickness this weekend?
Yeah, so I got like a fever, a flu, something like that, where I didn't practice with my team at all this week. So it was pretty sucky for me. So yeah, but it's pretty nice to still be able to come in, and I still feel really comfortable playing with my team, and they did a pretty good job of playing with our B team AD carry, Zaganox, and he did a pretty good job in scrims, and yeah, so it was nice to 2-0.
All right, yeah, congratulations on the 2-0. I hope you're feeling better. Thank you once again for the interview, STIXXAY, and we're actually going to toss it over to bonus coverage on the other stream.